This is Stage Right with John Thorne, and my guest today is Honeytree. Nancy, a couple months ago, I got a phone call from a good buddy of mine named Billy Smiley, and Billy said he was working on a song with you. So I want you to talk about what you're doing now with Billy and what's about to be released the end of this week.
Well, Billy's just such a gift from God to me. I really appreciate him. I found out about him through Jean Watson,
Yeah.
who's from Kalamazoo and such a great artist herself. And Billy produces her. And I thought he got her, like she's very artistic and musical and kind of Celtic sometimes. And, just I thought if he can produce her, then he probably can wrap his head around Honeytree music.
Right.
So, but what happened last year was I wrote a song, and that was remarkable to me because my husband passed away in 2018, and I had a lot of song pieces, but I had not been able to complete anything since he died.
Oh.
But last year I went on a trip to Nicaragua.
Okay.
And with my friend Ruth Martinez. And while I was on that trip, I kept hearing the word acompáñame, which means accompany me or walk with me. And I knew it was a song. And I even was able to write the first verse while I was there.
Sure.
And it just immediately connected with people. But I was really worried because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to finish it,
Right.
Oh, God, help me to finish this.
Yeah.
And I didn't have time to while I was on that trip. But when I got home, I was actually able to write the song.
That's awesome.
And it turned out to be a mission statement for this ministry, this online Spanish grief recovery ministry that I work with, that's headed up by Ruth Martinez.
Okay.
But it was not, it was a beautiful song in its own, standing on its own, as the message of that God is the one who heals our grief, but we really need to walk alongside each other to see that happen.
Right.
And so it was in Spanish, and then I asked God to help me make a really song-like translation of it that would be a song in itself in English.
Sure.
And he did.
Oh, cool.
And so that was a huge breakthrough for me to be able to write something.
Right, sure.
And to write it in 2 languages was remarkable. And then it was just beautiful. I couldn't stop listening to it, playing it and singing it to myself and like sharing it with them. They were so thrilled because it really incorporates the title of their ministry and the whole mission statement, the byline and everything, the main Bible verse, that it's all built on. And so, I thought, I've got to record this, and I can't just do it somewhere. I've got to go to Nashville and get it done right.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have any money to do it, but I just knew God would provide.
Right.
So I started talking to Billy, and it was just from the very beginning. I really felt like this is the right guy. He goes back. He's from White Heart,
Yeah.
He's a Jesus music guy. And he told me how much it would cost. And so it was so funny because I had gotten this letter, which I knew I was going to get a grant of some kind because I've got this dear friend who's a pastor's wife whose family has connection to a foundation.
Okay.
And they give money for Christian projects.
Oh, awesome.
And she had told me that I was going to get a gift, but I didn't know how much it was going to be.
Right.
And then the funny thing was, I was looking for it to come, but I got this envelope that I was kind of thinking was junk mail. So it was just sitting on my counter. You know how you stick under your your phone and your shopping list, you've got your junk mail pile,
Right.
And it was sitting there.
Oh,
And Billy had told me how much I needed to do the song.
right.
And I was thinking, okay, I had certain people that were going to help me raise money in it. And I thought, okay, here we go. And then I went and opened that envelope. Thank God there was a grant check in for more than what I needed.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
And that I was so glad I hadn't thrown it in the recycling bin.
Right.
So the Lord had provided before I even asked. It was just funny because the way that it happened was so sweet. There it was
That's so cool.
in my junk mail pile.
That's so great. Well, tell everyone who Billy brought in to play guitar with you on this song.
Aha! Well, it's so exciting. Phil Kagi plays guitar with me,
Phil Kagi.
and he did both acoustic and electric.
It sounds great too.
So that was fun. We did the track in Sound Kitchen,
Yep.
and then Gordon Mote came, who was an incredible pianist from Bill Gaither vocal band fame and lots of other fame.
Sure.
And he just nailed it right away. That the piano part is so beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
And then we went over to Phil's house. That was the first time I've worked with Phil remotely on some projects that he has done from there, but I've never had the chance to go and be there with him.
Right.
The studio. So that I had the craziest feeling, like walking up to the front door of the house. It was like, I'm going to see Bilbo Baggins or something. I just felt like I was on a pilgrimage.
Right. Oh, that's fun.
So awesome. And he's just fun. And Bernadette, his wife, is so sweet. And they had their two of their grandkids there that day. And we just had so much fun.
How cool.
And so he put his guitar parts on, and then Steve Hindalong came to Sound Kitchen and did the percussion.
Right. Well, the track is beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much.
And you sent it to me in English and Spanish. And it's one of the rare songs that when I hear in Spanish, not every song, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, not every song sounds good in two languages.
Yeah.
But this is beautiful in both languages.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. I understand what you mean. I've had some that I wish I could translate, and I just haven't been able to. But yeah, I was so thrilled that the Lord allowed me. It was a very interesting experience, writing it in Spanish first and then trying to do it in English. You kind of have to turn it inside out and upside down.
Right.
Because the word order is different, and the rhymes are going to be found in different places, and the rhythm, it has to go with,
Yeah.
And so I was just really grateful and relieved to be able to get a good English version of it.
Well, it's beautiful. It turned out great.
Oh, thank you.
So tell everyone where they'll be able to find the song.
Well, we're going to have a release date of February the 10th, and it will be on all the platforms, Spotify, YouTube Music, iTunes, Apple Music, wherever people buy music. They'll also be able to just go to YouTube.
Sure.
Probably, and just listen to it.
That'll be awesome.